My name is Tyler Brooks, and I'm 22 years old, living in a quiet neighborhood in Arizona. Life had been ordinary until I met Rachel Moore, a 40-year-old married woman who lived just 2 blocks away from my house. I had seen her a few times, elegant, calm, and always distant. Her husband was rarely around, always traveling for work. She often sat alone on her porch in the evenings, sipping wine and staring into the emptiness. It was a bright Sunday afternoon when I went to the local park to clear my head. I had lost my mother just months ago, and the grief had made me distant from everyone. That day, as I sat quietly on a bench under the old oak tree, someone sat beside me. "Tyler, right?" she asked softly. I turned and saw Rachel. She looked different without makeup, her hair tied back casually, and wearing a simple white summer dress. "Yes," I replied. "Rachel." She nodded and smiled gently. "I've seen you around. How are you holding up?" Something about her voice was comforting. We started talking not about life or loss, just simple things. Movies, favorite places, music. It was easy. Strangely easy. From that day, we met at the park often. She'd bring coffee, and I'd bring my playlist. Our conversations grew longer, our smiles wider. It felt like we were two broken pieces healing together. One evening, it rained. She didn't bring an umbrella, so I offered to walk her home. She hesitated at the gate and then said, "You know, I feel more alive when I talk to you." I didn't know what to say. I smiled, and she stepped closer. "You make me feel noticed," she whispered, then turned and disappeared into her house. Weeks passed. We started spending time beyond the park, grocery runs, secret coffees at out-of-town cafes, and even short drives to nearby towns. One weekend, she said, "Let's do something crazy. Let's go to Marjani." "Marjani?" I laughed. "That's a resort town." "Exactly," she said with a sparkle in her eyes. "One night, just us. No thinking." We booked a room at a lakeside hotel in Marjani. That evening, we stood on the balcony, watching the sun melt into the horizon. She looked at me and said, "Do you ever wonder if moments like these are wrong or just rare?" I took her hand. "All I know is that I feel happy around you." Inside the room, we didn't need words. The silence was filled with emotion, and the night was a dream, soft lights, quiet music, laughter, and comfort. We didn't just share a bed. We shared vulnerability. A week later, she invited me to her home. Her husband was away. The house was warm, candles lit in every corner. "I don't feel guilty," she said. "I feel free." That night, we stayed together. We didn't sleep much. We talked, laughed, and held each other like nothing else mattered. I had never felt so needed, and she had never felt so alive. Over time, we created a world of our own, hidden from everyone, but filled with honesty and affection. I kept her happy, and she brought peace to my heart. There was no promise of forever, just a beautiful now. But one morning, as we watched the sunrise through her window, she whispered, "If I had met you 10 years earlier, maybe everything would have been different." And maybe it would have. But in that moment, nothing else mattered. Because sometimes, the most unexpected people give us the most unforgettable memories. After that night at her house, things changed between Rachel and me. Not in a bad way, but deeper. We weren't just sharing secret moments anymore. We were falling into something neither of us had planned. She'd text me every morning, "Missed you in my dreams," and I'd reply, "Counting hours until I see you." The thrill of secrecy, the warmth of stolen hugs, and the comfort of her presence made each day worth waking up for. But secrets come with a price. One afternoon, I walked into the same park where it all began. Rachel was already there, sitting on the bench, staring at her phone. She looked pale. I rushed over. "My husband's coming home," she said. "For good." My heart sank. "He's taken a local job. He'll be around now every day." "I don't know what to do, Tyler. I don't want to lose what we have." We sat in silence. "We can still meet," I said. "Somewhere, somehow." She shook her head. "This was our season. And seasons end." I reached for her hand. "But I love you." She looked at me, eyes trembling. And I love you too, Tyler. More than you know. A week passed. Then another. We didn't meet. No messages. No calls. It was like she had vanished. One night, I stood outside her house. The lights were off. Curtains drawn. A quiet home with secrets behind every wall. I turned to leave, heart heavy, when a voice stopped me. Tyler, she whispered. Rachel stood behind me in the garden. Her eyes were teary, her breath uneven. I told him everything, she said. I told my husband about us. My heart skipped. He left, she added. He didn't yell. He didn't cry. He just left. Are you okay? I asked. I don't know, she said. But I feel free and scared. That night, I took her hand and brought her to my apartment. For the first time, we didn't have to hide. We cooked together, danced to old love songs, fell asleep on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, hearts close, worries distant. But freedom isn't always peace. In the following weeks, Rachel struggled. Neighbors whispered. Friends judged. Even her own family distanced themselves. People talked. But we stayed together. One evening, we sat on my apartment balcony, watching the city glow. I lost everything, she said. Except you. You'll never lose me, I promised. She smiled, leaned on my shoulder, and whispered, Then I've lost nothing. The ending. When love becomes everything. Months passed. Rachel found a new job. Started painting again. She bloomed, not because of me, but because she finally allowed herself to be happy. I stayed by her side through it all. We moved into a quiet house just outside the city, away from the noise and the past. And one morning, as sunlight touched our window, she turned to me and said something I'll never forget. You didn't just love me, Tyler. You saved me. I kissed her forehead and held her tight. In a world that rarely understands love beyond boundaries, we found our own world, imperfect, tested, and judged, but real. Because sometimes love doesn't come when it's right. It comes when you need it most. And that's when it means everything.